It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Happy Friday. Friday, June 13th. Oh my gosh, it's Friday the 13th. I didn't even think about it. Wow, I was just listening to the last time that Judge Bev was going to run this courtroom until we get hopefully the the final jury verdict. She just released the jury into deliberations this second right now at 11:40 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2:40 p.m. Eastern time. It's behind schedule because of Judge Bev. She made us wait hours this morning. What else is new? You guys, welcome to the show. We're going to have fun today. We have a lot to talk about. It's my last show of the week and it's also my last show here in LA for a while. We have a long time. I'm going out of town next week. I'll still be doing the show, but I'm going out of town. So let's have fun, you guys. We're back on StreamYard. We're back in our normal. Did you see how many shows got affected yesterday? I took it personally. I was like, what is going on with Daily Dose of Donna? I can't go live. But I saw that all my favorites were being affected by that big outage. But luckily, we're back here and we're able to go live. And thank goodness, because lucky for you guys, we get to listen to the song. So everyone do your sprinkler. It's your daily dose of Donna.
Can you imagine? Not feel the magic. Can you imagine? Not feel the magic.
I woke up this morning and I said to myself, what are we going to do when Karen Reed is over? I mean, it's going to be over in the next few days. There's no way that jury deliberates more than 3 days. I just can't imagine. Now, what I didn't know, see, I'm learning so much. What I didn't know is this last minute deciding on who actually deliberates in the jury. See, what happens is they have 18 jurors. And this is all very important because we're going to learn all of this. Oh, I guess I should stick in this little strap. This is a side note, and I guess this is really just for the YouTube community because you have to have a visual for this show. What is this? Women of America or of the world, I should say, because this is a world, this is global issues. We're having a global problem. Forget world wars. This is a global issue. What is this? I understand it's for hanging, but this is a pointless situation here. No one needs these. I will hang with these straps. This is pointless. And it always falls out, these little hang tags thing. They just always fall out at the wrong times, at the wrong places. Not a need. And I don't have scissors on me. God, this is a waste of fabric, you know? Hold on. I always cut them out. You know what? I'm going to start a petition. Forget Judge Lyman being corrupt. This is the real problems of America. We're going to get into a couple things that are happening with Judge Lyman because we actually have people that are trying to recuse him. Don't worry. I'll talk about it all. Now, back to this morning. You know, jury trials are interesting. And like I said, I'm not a law tuber, right? I'm just a concerned citizen of America. So I just like to follow these trials. And I was listening to Judge Bev and her 475-minute long jury instructions that I am convinced are just out to confuse the jury. There's no real reason for these long instructions, but I think they're just out to confuse them. And in the last jury instructions, which she does for the final part of her jury instructions, which truly, actually, if you want to download her jury instructions, which lasted 45 minutes, they could be used. They should hire her for the Calm app, or what's the other one? What's the other like sleep app? One of those, because you could just put Judge Bev's like her jury instructions on one of those apps. That shit will put you right to sleep. I'm telling you. I was listening in the shower. I almost fell asleep. It's so boring. And I love when Judge Bev comes on here and she tries to be like, jurors, thank you so much. You have done an amazing job. You have done such honorable work. And I'm thinking to myself, but have you? Have you looked in the mirror lately, Judgy? Judgy McJudge? The best is that I think it's Maureen Hancock or whatever she is on Instagram who does the impersonations of Judge Bev. She does a better Judge Bev than Judge Bev does. But Hank Brennan does the best Gilbert Gottfried. I'm convinced that Hank Brennan is Gilbert Gottfried reincarnated. Is Gilbert Gottfried still alive? Note to self, check. Because there must be someone asked ChatGPT if Gilbert Gottfried and Hank Brennan are related in some capacity because they must be distant cousins. If they're related, just like the Alberts are related to every single witness on the stand, right? Because Hank Brennan and Gilbert Gottfried are one and the same. I'm convinced. Oh, he died. Okay, there you go. He came back and he died, and Hank Brennan came back. So there you go. Now, this morning was an incredible day of court. And the world listened because I was flipping back through a lot of the channels that were covering it. And like Emily D. Baker, it's been a very popular trial to watch. And Karen Reed's, I like watching the live trial. I don't like when the law tubers come on in. So like a lot of people watch Emily D. Baker because they like when she stops it and gives her opinion. They watch Melanie Little. I don't like it. I watch live trial and I watch it at 1.5 speeds because I try to like let it build up and then I watch it really fast. And then I can fast forward through the 400 sidebars. So I'm watching it on Law and Crime. And usually it ranges between like 30 and 40,000 live watchers every day of trial just on that one channel. And today was 55,000 live watchers. And Emily D. Baker had 65,000 live watchers on hers. And I didn't check everyone else. But of course, this is like the biggest day in trial. So I would imagine this and opening statements. But I think it's even bigger than opening statements because I believe that a huge amount of people got invested in the trial during this trial because this is how these things work with the documentary, with the TikTokers, with people like us, podcasters like myself, just talking about it. So many of you guys have said, I got so obsessed with this trial because of you talking about it. Like so many of you guys just said last night in my comments when I posted about it, thank you for talking about this. I wouldn't have known it existed. And still I walk around and think like, what do you think of the Karen Reed trial? They say, who? Do you live under a rock? Like, for what do you do? What? I don't know what to do with myself without Karen Reed. And so I'm a little sad that it's coming to a close. But at the same time, I'm a little, I'm grateful that it's coming to a close. And I'm really hopeful after listening to closing statements today that it is coming to a close and a hope and in a good, positive way, because I truly, and I really, really try to look at it from a outsider's perspective as if I didn't have like more information than maybe the jurors. But I really do believe that there's no way that she's going to be found guilty on any three of the counts. I just don't see how. I don't see how even everyone in the comments that is like, she's guilty, she's guilty. There's people out there that will see that she's guilty no matter what. It's the people that believe, no matter what, that Justin Baldoni is the most disgusting, perverted sexual harasser. It's like those people, no matter what you present them, they see it. It's the people that see that the sky is green, even though it's literally blue. They don't want to see the truth, or they don't want to see any other side than what they see, right? Those people. I just don't see physically how you can in any way prove guilt. I just don't. The reasonable doubt is so strong, which is why it is so incredibly strong. His closing argument today, Mr. Jackson, Alan Jackson, the lawyer that I'm telling you, the fact that she got paired up with Alan Jackson is such a dream. And I have no idea how they found each other. I have no idea. I'm curious, actually. I don't know if any of you guys know. Did she find Alan Jackson? Did he find her? Did someone connect them? I don't know. This man lives here in Los Angeles. He travels to Boston to cover her, or Massachusetts to do this case. I imagine he lives there for the entirety of the trial. He's a father. He has a wife who I think is a public defender. Her name is Lindsay Kasabian. She's a famous attorney as well here in Los Angeles, but he spends a lot of time, I imagine, out there too. He's a handsome man. He's strong. He cooks. He's like kind of perfect. And he's also phenomenal at his job. He's phenomenal at his job. Oh, Yannetti brought him in. That makes sense. That makes sense. But the people that are free Karen Reed, Billy brings up a good question. Do free Karen Reed people also support Blake? And I wonder if there would be a correlation. I think free Karen Reed people are probably people that can't look past the fact that she was drunk. Because she was drunk. That's the truth. She was drunk that night. Or at least she was drinking. I mean, she had a blood alcohol content of over the legal limit. That's true. So when you see that and you see a woman was driving drunk, it looks bad. And that's kind of like all they can see. Also, I believe there is also an element of the people who are so, and I say this in a weird way because I really like police. Like I'm a pro police person as long as they're good police. So I'm not against police at all, but some people are so, maybe they're part of police families or something. So maybe there is something to that extent. You know what I mean? Her blood was tested at the hospital the next day. Yes, yes. So people are questioning if she was she really drunk that night, or did she drink when she got home that night because she was stressed out? Because that is to be questioned. That's part of the defense's questioning also, is when was she actually drinking? Did she drink more when she got home because John wasn't home and wasn't picking up the phone? Was she stressed out? Look, you can't dispute the fact that she did have drinks at the waterfall. You see her drinking. How much? We don't know. But that's what people are stuck on. A woman was drinking, driving, angry with her boyfriend, and then, he died outside. And they're stuck on it. They're stuck on it. And there's people that cannot wrap their head around the fact that it's potential that multiple other people could be involved in what they consider a cover up. But here's the thing. I don't think you actually need so many people to be covering this up. It's a very small amount of people that are covering this up. If you think about it, it's a very small amount of people. A lot of other people are just doing their due diligence to say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. You know what I mean? But how far are you going to go? How far? How far are you going to go to protect your family? Ask Brian Landry's family, whatever they are, Ask them. Think about how far you will go. Oh, this is interesting. Jess Joe says Karen sent AJ an email with the autopsy pics. So that's how they connected. She found Alan Jackson. I want to look into that, like, development of that relationship. That's really interesting. How far will you go to protect your family? And I believe that someone in that family, whether it's the Albert family or one of the McCabe's, or maybe Higgins as well, someone in that crew was involved with the death of John O'Keefe. And at that point, you go all in to protect. Now, there's a lot of theories that I've found of what could have possibly actually happened that night. But it doesn't even matter on this trial. The first trial was really juicy. It was really juicy and was really salacious. It was like, oh, okay, what could have happened? Did this person do this and call this person and then butt dial this person and do this at this person? And then, they threw out their phone. And if you watch the documentary, the first documentary, the 5-part Max documentary, do it. And even watch parts of the first trial because it was so crazy. It was like it's like a soap opera, right? With the text messages and the butt dials, and then who's throwing away their phone and getting rid of it at an army base and pulling out the SIM card before you wrap it up in a plastic bag and throw it out, and this and this and that. There's so much to be done or to be said about all of those things. This trial was less juicy in that way, in like the soap opera way, although we did get some crazy moments. For example, remember that first week when they had the one, I can't even remember the witness's name, but they had one of the was he a police officer or a detective read the 250 or so text messages between John O'Keefe and Karen Reed that were sent back and forth on January 28th, 2022, the night that they ended up going out and he ended up dying. Oh my God. That night, whew, those text messages were so insane. And it went on and on and on and on forever. Like it never stopped to the point where, and my husband wasn't even into the case at the time, but I was like, Lance, this is crazy. And I remember feeling so secondhand embarrassment, like awkward, feeling like I was going to die because if you ever get in a fight with your husbands or men, men, you could have husbands too. But if women, if you ever get in a fight with your husbands, wives, whatever, girlfriends, husbands, boyfriends, maybe get off text. Like that's something I've learned. I will never fight with Lance over text ever again. Guarino, thank you. I will never. I will literally only pick up the phone and call Lance from now on. Okay. Because you never know when these text messages will come back to bite you. And I've learned so much from Peter Tragos, that's lawyer, you know, and he and his dad were doing a show last weekend talking about all this or the other night, I don't even remember. And the dad said, who's also an attorney, he said, I will never put anything in writing that I don't want read in front of a court, like ever. And I'm like, note to yourself, I've already messed that up many, many times. Like never again. Never again. My text messages in the past have been so insanely unhinged. And there have been times where Lance has not picked up his phone or text get me a few drinks in and I will tell you stories where I've called 911 thinking that he has died. Okay. And he literally has just been in a loud bar and hasn't texted me back for 30 minutes. Okay, it's okay. Everyone calm down. I'm a neurotic Jew. What can I say? I can be Karen Reed in that moment, right? I have done that. I have literally done that where I have not gotten a hold of Lance and I have lost my marbles. Just saying. I was younger, but I have done that. I'm not saying Karen Reed did the right thing, but I have done what Karen Reed's done. So I will say that the text messages between her and John O'Keefe the day that he died were very salacious. That was a moment. Another crazy moment was the Buchanan text messages reading out loud, right? When Officer Buchanan was out there, and he's like such a shady officer too, who allowed Proctor to get away with such gross things. But when he had to sit there and read the text messages between Karen and Brian Higgins, the other guy, and he was like, you're smoke. You're so you're a hottie. You want to come over for a drink? So Karen, you're really pretty. Why do you like me? Yeah, what are you doing tonight? Do you like me? Yes or no? Circle yes or no. Remember, I've had Bobby Sauce on my show take naps on Instagram, and we've laughed so hard. Why are you giving me the ghost? I mean, you can't write this shit. We're laughing here about Bravo shows. Bravo, move away. Watch the trial. It's the craziest thing. So there were moments like that. Then we had the moments where John O'Keefe's friend, Carrie Roberts, who Karen called the morning of when she couldn't find John, this sweet woman who wasn't even there the night before. Well, she wasn't around late night the night before, helps Karen. And then we find out on the stand that she perjured herself in trial number one. Well, that was wild. And then don't get me started on Jen McCabe. Sweet little, as Brennan said today, Jen McCabe, soccer mom. He said soccer mom 4 times about Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe is like the evil villain of the story. And Brennan, prosecution, calls her soccer mom 4 times. 4 times. It was insane. And then, so Jen McCabe, who is, in my opinion, she's like the planner of the entire thing. She's the one calling her sister at 5:07 a.m. They're coming, probably warning everyone. She's the one that calls 911. She goes, yeah, I think he's dead. She already was planning on it. She's the one. searching house long to die in cold at 2:37 a.m., deletes the search and then searches it again at 6 a.m. and says that Karen tells her to search it. Can you imagine Karen Reed in the middle of all of this chaos while she's doing CPR on her boyfriend, screaming, crying, freaking out, saying, "Hey, Jen, Google how long to die in the cold." While the ambulance is there, Google it. Please, please. Soccer moms. She also lied to the FBI. Don't forget that. Soccer moms lied to the FBI too. They're just like us. How many times have you lied to the FBI? This is literally Desperate Housewives in real life. Like Mark Cherry, the creator of Desperate Housewives, couldn't come up with this script of Karen Reed in Canton. It's nuts. So the trial has taken a turn away from that like crazy salacious stuff in the last couple weeks, and it's become more scientific. It's really honed in the defense's side. It's taken away from like the crazy stuff, and it's become more, did Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her car? They've brought on accident reconstruction experts, and they brought on doctors. That's it. The defense didn't want to bring in all the officers and the the investigators that are weird and shady and calling Karen, crazy names and talking about her body and how, she has no butt or whatever. And then they didn't want to bring in all the friends and they just wanted to stick to the facts. So they brought in the doctors and they brought in the accident reconstructionists, while the prosecution brought in the Blue Man Group. And don't forget that when he said, "I spread my load. I spread my load all over the bed. I spread my load." And he did. I spread my load. Remember, prosecution, Blue Man Group man spread his load all over the bed 6 times over, 6 times over. He kept spreading his load. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you spread your load, sir. And Brennan is talking about tofu, ham sandwiches, and I think Brennan is hungry because Brennan keeps referring to food. And Judge Bev, this entire courtroom case, is sighing and playing with her nails and taking sips of God knows what in her Stanley cup. I guess a Chardonnay, and wondering when lunch is too. Everyone's hungry. And the only thing that the defense cares about is getting a woman free and getting her out of this nightmare from this insane sham. This feels like Jury Duty season 2, but it's not. It's a real life person's case. This is not a joke. But it feels like it is. It feels like this is a reality show and it's about to be like, you're punked, but it's not. It's a real person's life. And as Alessi in the last week is like, should be a mistrial. The judge says, wait, hold on. Can we go to lunch? The amount of injustice in this trial was bananas. But today, we had closing statements. And let me tell you, none other than Alan Jackson. Oh, no. Sorry, I just saw some news. None other than Alan Jackson did such a phenomenal job. And I'm going to show you guys just a moment that the self-defense girl, who I've been loving following doing this, the self-defense girl, she is just as obsessed with this case as we all are. She's an amazing person to follow anyway. But she posted a clip of the end of his incredible. I mean, they had an hour and 15 minutes, so it was long. And he went through everything. He went through every single piece of reasonable doubt. Because all it takes is one piece of reasonable doubt. And he was so smart the way he did this. He took literally like on his, they had like a little, a screen above the court case. And he basically did like fake note cards, like index cards. And on each of these index cards, it was a graphic, like a sentence of what could be a reasonable doubt. And every single time he said something, it would be up there. one, another, and another. And he went through every single one. And he said, jurors, if any of these applies to something you believe in, meaning if you have one reasonable doubt in any of these, that's enough. Because you cannot charge someone guilty with any of these reasonable doubts, with not one of them. Because one little reasonable doubt is a full reasonable doubt. It's so genius. So let's watch just this one little clip of Alan Jackson that the self-defense girl, Katie, posted on her stories.
Finish Alan Jackson's closing statement, and my God, is this man good at his job. His storytelling, his balance of anger to show the misjustice, but still ability to get his point across, his transitions between each piece of reasonable doubt. They also had great visual aids. Every time he would transition into a new piece of reasonable doubt, they would display one of these cards. And I'm going to actually break down his closing by each of these cards and go over all of the points he brought up. But first, I want to play the very end of his closing.
So now we've reached the final moments of the trial, and you've seen the facts and you've seen the evidence, and we've just talked about dozens and dozens and dozens of facts that are reasonable doubt. Each one of them are reasonable doubts. These facts, these note cards that you're looking at, piled high, one on top of another, literally stacks and stacks of them covering the table. As you mentally sift through those cards, realize that every one of them is a massive hole in the Commonwealth's case. Every single one of the note cards represents a hole in the Commonwealth's case. If you're holding mentally even one of those cards, you're holding reasonable doubt, folks. You're holding a not guilty verdict. Reasonable doubt is not a sliding scale. It's a wall. If the Commonwealth cannot get over every one of these dozens of walls, you have to acquit Karen Read. The truth is, Karen Read is not guilty. Not because of technicalities, but because the facts, the law, the science, the physics, the data, they all say so. They demand it. The Commonwealth does not have a theory about how John was hit by the car. They haven't even shown you that it's possible that he was hit by a car. And the reason they haven't is because it's not possible that he was hit by a car. There was no collision. Your job is not to do their job, their burden entirely. It's theirs. They have to prove this case and their theory beyond all reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty. And not only do they not have a theory, they can't prove one that doesn't exist. All you need to know is that the Commonwealth failed. They failed to provide you with a truthful representation. They failed to prove the essence of their case, that John was even hit by a car to begin with. They failed to prove any intent on the part of Karen Read because she has none. They failed to investigate the actual suspects in this case. They failed to present the lead investigator to you. They failed to justify the perjured testimony that you heard discussed in this case. They failed to hold accountable an officer who came in here and lied to you and claimed false memories so she could do the right thing to cover for a fellow cop or cops. They failed to maintain a fair and unbiased and honest investigation. They failed to present you with the truth. And this is what you get. An investigation that's riddled with errors and omissions and a rush to judgment and conflicted and corrupted from the start. Every part of it. That is the literal definition of reasonable doubt. How can they ask you to be morally certain based on this evidence? It's a tragedy. When the government fails so completely, so catastrophically, when there are dozens and dozens of points of reasonable doubt on the table, your duty, your oath is clear. Your sworn obligation under the law is to acquit Karen Read, not just because you can, because you must. Justice demands it. Do not let the Commonwealth get away with this. Don't let them get away with this. Do not endorse and sanction an investigation that is broken and corrupted top to bottom. But just as importantly, do not let Michael Proctor get away with it. And make no mistake about it, folks. If you convict Karen Read of anything, if you convict her of anything, science, the physics, the data, they lose. But tragically, Michael Proctor wins. Remember his texts. Something stinks. Yeah, but serious charges will be brought on the girl. She's fucked. Could you ever say to yourself, this is justice? The fact is there was no collision. A car did not kill John O'Keefe. So I ask you, let your voice be heard, not in whispers, but in truth. Let the community feel through your verdict that justice cannot be bent and that it will not be buried. Find Karen Read not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Thank you.
I have chills. And that's my second or third time watching that. I have chills. That is what you dream of for a defense litigator, for a defense attorney, right? Because it's so powerful the way he speaks, with confidence, with strength, but it's everything. If you want to watch truthfully, you can go back and watch his closing statements from the first trial. They were incredible. And then watch his opening statement from this trial. It was incredible. His closing statement from today, the way it started, and then he had some really powerful moments in the middle, and then the end. But it's just so true. It's like the jury is holding the power in their hands right now of allowing for justice to be served, or for a potentially innocent, because the thing is, no one knows what happened. Even the Commonwealth doesn't know what happened. The prosecution, even the freaking prosecution was not able to bring one person. The prosecution was not able to bring one expert, not one, who was able to confidently say that the car hit Karen Read. Karen Read hit John O'Keefe with the car. They spent $400,000, almost $500,000 on those experts that did the Blue Man Group, that, did a paint transfer from a car to an elbow. I could have done that for free. And then the other guy that came with all those crazy explanations lied on his CV. That was the closest they got for someone that confirmed that the car could have hit him. Two people that were con artists, basically. Even the doctors and the medical examiners that the prosecution brought on, they didn't have any confirmation that the car hit. So if the prosecution themselves weren't able to get anyone with no amount of money that they could have paid, got anyone to confirm that the car hit John O'Keefe, how can you prove it? They couldn't even prove it. There's absolutely no way that they can prove it. No one proved it. And meanwhile, Brennan comes on, as annoying as Brennan can be, right? The second Alan Jackson is done, I'm like, this is it. I would die if I was sitting there as Brennan trying to follow this up, right? Oh, this is actually a really good moment too. I just want to show you guys this one little moment that free Karen Read support on Instagram shared. And this is a really good moment. Watch.
How is that possible? It's not possible. The only way it's possible is if those shards never touched his arm, because it was a dog.
Did you guys see that? It's not possible because those shards didn't touch his arm, because it was a dog. He does a whisper. He's so talented with his approach, with his, he's a performer in the best possible way. He's so good. Now, Hank Brennan came up and did his best possible way of doing his thing. He really did his best approach at being, I'm sorry, but I'll make you guys watch just a few seconds of it. It was hard. I watched it at 1.5 and then at some points 1.75 speed because I was get through this. I really dislike watching Hank Brennan completely. The only good thing about it is I didn't have to hear Judge Bev constantly stopping and, but see the guy in the background? See this guy in the background here? That's how I feel about Hank Brennan the entire time. Even his own side, I guess legal assistant in the background, this woman, she has the same face that I do. So it's this guy in the back and her. This is how we all feel about Hank Brennan, I think, in the same exact moment. It's that. Okay, so let's just watch. I'll make it faster, but we can just watch a few seconds just to kind of see how he goes about it. This is between him calling Jen McCabe a soccer mom 6 times.
To operate a motor vehicle safely, but you
Okay, that's too fast. Hold on. I don't want to kill you guys.
will know that she was far beyond the legal limit. After the retrograde analysis, almost 2 to 3 times the legal limit.
He's not
Almost 2 to
talking
3
very
times the legal
fast. I
limit.
mean, loud.
Now, it's been intimated, not Conan said, that maybe she went home and started drinking.
Is that John O'Keefe's dad next to Peggy? Does anyone know in the back? Peggy's in the blue or in the purple, his mom. Is that the dad with his head down? Because I don't feel like I saw the dad at all during the trial. Did the dad just not ever come until today? And also, Peggy cried the entire time during Alan Jackson speaking, I felt like. Peggy, his mom, cried all morning, which I thought was very, very interesting. It was almost like, I feel bad that she's lost her child. Like, trust me, I do. But I do feel a little bit strangely like, is this a little bit of theater? That all of a sudden she's crying so hard on closing statement day? This is the day that she's going to cry so much? Now, a lot of people in the comments are saying that dad doesn't think Karen did it because dad used to go to church with Karen every Sunday. Some reports say dad actually believes Karen Reed is innocent, and maybe that's why dad doesn't come to the trial. Whoa, I like that little switcheroo. Yeah, Peggy is a little bit of a theater woman. I can tell she puts it on for the jury, and I don't like that John O'Keefe's family is staring right at the jury. That, to me, feels unfair. Just saying.
After she got home, no evidence, mind you, no evidence. And that somehow that.
Look at her cry the whole time.
What alcohol level? It's not appropriate for me to comment on the credibility.
He's
of
not
another
loud.
argument, so I won't do that. But Karen Reed will do that for her. So if we listen to slide 2, she'll tell you exactly what she thinks about that claim.
He pulls up a lot of clips of her.
My alcohol intake's probably about 5 or 6 or 4. The drinks that they reportedly at McCarthy's, which is where I consumed most of the alcohol, was the weakest at the time. It tasted just like all soda water with blue lime.
Slide 3, please.
I wouldn't have gotten on the expressway. I wouldn't have gotten on the expressway.
Okay, sorry. It's like impossible to hear.
Late at night, dark, beginning to snow, under the influence of alcohol, knowing where she stopped and left him after an argument, heading back in reverse to the exact spot or right near where she left him at over 24 miles per hour, accelerating at over 75%. You need to ask yourself, are you convinced if somebody does that create a plain and strong likelihood of death? And if there's no doubt in your mind that she intended to hit that accelerator in reverse, and if that conduct will create a clear and plain likelihood of death, then she's guilty of that crime. Whatever the label is, she will be guilty of that crime. Now think about this. Let me give you an analogy. If somebody,
Oh my God, so
someone
true.
young, impulsive, is on a bridge and they see cars going by and they have a boulder and they want to throw the boulder off, they're not looking to hurt anybody. They're not meaning to kill anybody, but they throw the boulder off the bridge.
What is he
They wanna
talking about?
see the car break, the thrill. And when they throw that boulder off the bridge and it comes down and lands on the car and there's somebody, passenger, anybody in that car, and it then goes through the roof and kills the person in the car, did they intend to kill that person? No, they were trying to have a thrill throwing the rock. Did they have the malice to want that person dead? No, they didn't. But that would be an example of second-degree murder. When you take a boulder and throw it off a bridge, there's a plain and strong likelihood of death. When Karen Reed, in the midst of that tension and fight, after she drove away and was gone, disengaged, when she came back for the last word, in the darkness, the beginning of the snow, under the influence of alcohol, and decided to stop her Lexus, decided to put it in reverse, decided to accelerate 75% in the exact same direction of where she left him, and then hit him, and he died. I suggest to you that is second-degree murder. The other
There's
charge,
something
profiting from
about
the influence of the defendant. I hit him.
look,
Remember, he's
you
on
guys.
his
I
knees.
just
What happened?
look where I paused. I just want to stick on that pause for a while. You guys, I just fast forwarded like 10 minutes and Peggy, the mom, is still crying. This woman has cried for 3 straight hours. Either I think she probably ingested like a lot of pollen that morning. She's got like allergies or something. It's very strange. I've never seen someone consistently put a tissue to her nose and eyes. It's very theatric. There's nothing sad in his speech. He's not talking. He said one sentence at the very beginning. He said, John O'Keefe was a good man. He took his niece and nephew in. That's it. The rest is talking about Karen. You're crying over this all of a sudden? You weren't crying the entire trial. It's weird. It's really trying so desperately to get, it's very like what Doug said earlier in the comments. It's giving, when you're trying to get, when Blake had her mom cry, should I cry now at the Titan speech? It's bull. This is what I'm saying. It's like, Peggy, open your eyes. What Alan Jackson just said was 20 reasons to realize that you're sitting amongst what could potentially be your son's killers. Literally, you're leaving your grandson and your granddaughter with your son's killers. But you're sitting here crying because this woman, you're convinced it's all on her? It's weird. I mean, it's actually really sad if you think about it, because she can't wrap her mind around the fact that the people that she's trusted and known for so many years, and that her son trusted and knew for so many years, could potentially have killed him, and then lied about it, and then lied about, lied through this entire thing. It's actually really sad. She can't even let herself go there. Probably you have to be in such denial, because to allow that in would ruin your entire, it's probably, you just have to live in denial, right? It would be too hard. So let me just go to the very end of his argument, just so you can see the difference between his end versus Alan Jackson.
And they went to a party, an after party, and they were fighting. It was a relationship in decline, and he got out of the car, and he had a brief window of life left. But when he got out, and she drove away, she couldn't let it go. She got drunk, she hit him, she left him to die. It's that simple.
Peggy's still
We don't
crying.
know exactly how this collision happened, but we have a good idea from the physical evidence, and we know that it happened.
And then checking her nails.
Collision without lower body injuries. Can I have slide 19, please? You bet they can. We don't know if this is the body position. We don't know if this is the exact speed, but what it tells us, this is viable. Look at the debris field. Look at his turn. Remember his sneaker on that curb that got lodged against the sneaker? Mr. O'Keefe then falls back, hits his head, counter coup, left to die. Thank you.
And that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt what happened.
Oh,
that
yeah,
night.
there's one more
There's no doubt
sentence.
you did it. You have a very difficult task ahead of you when you consider the evidence, you consider the law. Very difficult. There are 3 charges. There is second-degree murder. Ms. Reed, when she chose to drive back at Mr. O'Keefe in that night with a 6,000-pound Lexus, in that anger, 75%, whether she meant to hit him or not, didn't mean to kill him, she hit him. Straight, it is a plain and strong likelihood of death. You would never back down your driveway if your kids were at the end of the driveway. You'd say, well, you're going to kill somebody? You would never do it, because you would expect, if you drove at them at that speed, that someone would die. That's second-degree murder. OUI manslaughter, she's drunk, she was reckless. She doesn't have to know she hit him. She doesn't even have to know she hit him. But she did. She did. And she
Now
left a
Peggy's
man
bored.
who was kind and generous and thoughtful. She left him alone. She left him alone to die. Could I have slide 22, please?
Oh my God, it's still going?
He is not an it.
Oh yeah, this is
John
the
O'Keefe
let's
is not a body.
there you go.
John O'Keefe is not a buffalo on a prairie. John
A
O'Keefe
buffalo.
was a person. And he was murdered by Karen Reed.
Okay.
All right, jurors, the next up is my instructions to you on.
I'm gonna make you guys
I'm gonna do that right now. You can-
look at her trying to smile. This this is a buffalo on a prairie. He says a buffalo on a fucking prairie. This is the shit made of nightmares right here. A buffalo on a prairie and Judge Bev. Like I can't deal. There's not even an argument. So they started deliberating almost an hour ago. What happened then was she did a really long speech and then she gave them 40 you guys are comments are killing me. Gave them like all these conversations and then they picked 12 out of the 18 jurors. 6 of the jurors went into alternate mode. Now, I've never actually done that. Like I've never been on a jury that has sat through a trial. I've never gotten picked to sit on a trial. I've always gotten picked for jury duty and then gotten dismissed. So I don't know how this works, but 6 of them got into alternates. Now, the good news here is according to on X, Turtle Boy, who's been very, very, obviously very big part of this entire thing. He said that he's been really watching the jury and he thinks that there's like a very specific amount of people in the jury that are very pro Karen and very anti Karen, just from what he feels like based on eyes and facial recognition and like note taking. That's what he feels. So he said that, let me show you his tweet. He said, I ranked the jurors 1 through 18 from best to worst based on my observations of their facial reactions and demographic. Here are the ranking jurors who got in: 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, and 17. Here were the jurors who were eliminated: 4, 7, 9, 14, 16, 18. So basically, he said the 3 best jurors who I believe are most notably impressed with the defense and fit the demographic of people who would believe Karen Reed is innocent remained on the jury, which is good. But 2 jurors, 1 juror that was eliminated was a strong juror, he believed. And he thinks it's a good pull, meaning that they pull it at random. And he feels that it was a good pull of jurors. And he feels pretty confident that the good people were pulled. I mean, it's pretty crazy that at the end of all of that, you really don't know who is going to be on your jury. You have 18 people in that room. And at the end of all of that, like, it's luck of the draw. Literally. It's literally a lottery. Oh my God, Judy's so funny. She goes, I'm just watching the reenactment of the arm being hit. Was he hitchhiking? I don't understand. No, they're literally saying that if his right arm was the one injured. And if you're standing looking at the car, it would be if one arm was injured and the house is over here, it would be your left arm, but it was his right arm. So that means he would be standing looking across the street from the house. The house is behind you. So if your whole body is not injured and it's just your right arm, you'd have to be standing so that only your right arm is coming out. So that's how they'd have to do the reenactments with just his arm out. It doesn't make any sense because also they're saying that she backed up 50 feet. So for seconds and seconds of backing out, he wouldn't flinch. He wouldn't move. He would just stand there with his arm out. He wouldn't even put it over his face or run out of the way. None of it makes sense. That's why I don't think it ever happened. None of it makes sense. We'll talk about it something else. So, I mean, we'll talk about that another time. But that all gets thrown into the trial. But now it comes down to these 12 jurors. And guys, I think it's definitely not going to happen today. It's already 3:30 p.m. and I can't imagine that they're going to stay in there that much longer. I mean, these jurors go home at 4 every day. So I'm anxious. Oh yeah, he also had 0 broken bones, no bruising, nothing. With a 6,000-pound car going almost 25 miles per hour, careening 25 miles per hour at you, no broken bones in your hand. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm nervous too. And I just got a DM from someone that says, okay, wait. Okay, Christina Rex says 6 alternates selected, including 3 white men. Not like any of that matters, but just so you guys are aware of it. 6 alternates selected, including 3 white men, a white woman, a black man, and a black woman. The deliberating jury consists of 7 women and 5 men. I don't know if that's good or not, because I feel like a lot of the anti-Karen Reed people are women too. Or, the believe women people are not believe women in this case. So I'm a little bit nervous. And then I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and the person who got the foreman is picked by the judge, and that was juror number 1, and apparently he didn't take any notes the entire trial, not one note. He never took a note, which is a bad sign. Bad sign. Okay, let's move on while we're on jury watch, and we'll just see what happens. I have no idea. I'm getting DMs constantly saying, I just got a DM from someone saying, I've been a litigator for 26 years and I am nervous beyond belief. So I think a lot of people are really nervous, even like if you're confident in the case, just because this judge is so insane. It's just like this court process has been so insane. So I think we're all really nervous. Kelley says, nothing to do with Karen being guilty or not, but why is it funny that the mom is crying? It's not funny that the mom is crying. I feel really bad for Peggy. I just think it's suspect and suspicious and a little theatrical that the mother is crying for 3 straight hours after she's been sitting in trial for 31 days, the second trial for 31 days, when they have talked about everything and anything when it comes to this trial. Text messages, details of the night, details of the death, details of his body and everything. And it feels incredibly performative on the day to try to elicit sympathy from the jury. That's my feeling, and I don't feel guilty about saying that. I think we can read through what feels performative and what feels real. Finally, before we move on, I want to just show you the official jury slips that I just got note of right here. Here's the official jury slips that they're going to be all reading. So the first one, if it's hard to read, let me read it out loud. Offense number 1 is murder in the 2nd degree. It says, in the above entitled case, we, the jury, say that the defendant is 1, not guilty, or 2, guilty of offense as charged, murder in the 2nd degree. Done. Second one. Wow. Okay. Manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. And that one is number 1, not guilty of the offense charged or any lesser included offense. Number 2, guilty of offense. This is going to be hard, you guys, because this feels like really confusing too. Number 2, guilty of offense as charged, which is manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. Number 3 is guilty of lesser included offense, which is involuntary manslaughter. Number 4 is guilty of lesser included offense, which is motor vehicle homicide. And number 5 is guilty of lesser included offense, which is operating under the influence of liquor. Okay, so this is what I think she could get on this one. On number 2, she could get guilty of lesser included offense, which is just operating under the influence of liquor. Don't you guys think? So number 5, she could get number 5. She could get on offense number 2, she could get guilty of lesser included offense. Correct? Anyone here agree on that one? Okay. And then on the third one, Because the third one, this says guilty of lesser included offense operating under the influence of liquor, but it doesn't say manslaughter. It doesn't say manslaughter at all on number 5. So I would say that she's guilty of operating under the influence of liquor because we know that she was definitely drinking that night. It's a DUI, but it's not manslaughter in any way. So I would say that she probably will get that one. Okay. Number 3, leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. A, not guilty, or B, or number 1, not guilty. Number 2, guilty of offense as charged. And she's going to get not guilty. She has to get not guilty. Has to. Oh, God. Okay. Let's move on to another story. Okay. Now, let's, I want to remind you guys, before we move on, I do have an interesting Blake Lively Taylor Swift update, which is going to be really interesting for you guys. So just stick around for 1 second. Before I get into that, I want to remind you guys that this week's episode is brought to you by Hero Bread. So many of you guys have messaged me that you've been using your discount code. It's 10% off this week. Hero Bread is the best bread for summertime because you can eat it, get your protein intake, get your fiber intake, and not get your carb intake. So you don't have to feel guilty while eating your protein, high fiber, high protein sandwiches, burgers, wraps, all that stuff. Can I just tell you, this is like a side note, but I went to Jersey Mike's recently, like a couple of days ago with my kids, and they now have wraps at Jersey Mike's. And I looked at it, and the truth is, if you get a wrap at Jersey Mike's, you're actually eating more calories and more, it's like worse for you than getting the sandwiches at Jersey Mike's. Isn't that curious? You should actually get a sandwich at Jersey Mike's over the wrap. But if you go to Hero Bread, they have wraps, they have sandwich bread, they have buns, they have burger bread. I mean, it's the best. It's the best, I'm telling you, and it tastes amazing. So if you use Hero Bread, you're going to love it. You can make healthy work week lunches, easy breakfast sandwiches. The bagels have only 4 grams of carbs, 0 grams of sugar, 19 grams of protein. You can have tortillas, bagels, dinner rolls, sliced bread, everything, croissants. My kids love it. My husband loves it. We've purchased it on our own, and we've gotten it obviously because they sponsor my show, and now we're hooked. So now we have a problem because now we only want to use Hero Bread. So get 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code DailyDose at checkout. Make sure to check out Hero. Thank you for sponsoring. Okay, you guys, a quick little update here from Lauren at Court of Random Opinion I'm seeing on Twitter. And I find this really interesting. I'm curious what this is all about. It says that Blake Lively now is filing for a protective order. This B, I mean, I can't with her. It says Blake Lively, as of 21 minutes ago, is filing for a protective order for texts with Taylor Swift. This is not a joke. We are not getting a break with this Blake Lively BS. Explain this to me. Thanks a lot, Lauren. Let's see this. This is going to be hard to read. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Oh, I can't make it bigger on Twitter here. Let me read it from. Oh, there we go. Is that big for you guys? Oh, that's what she said. It says, pursuant to rules, Blake Lively respectfully submits this letter motion for a protective order regarding the Wayfarer party's continuing demands for Miss Lively's communications with Taylor Swift, which they have pursued. At the same time, they have refused to produce Miss Lively the documents they publicly have claimed to received as part of a deal to withdraw their subpoenas to Miss Swift and her counsel. Good cause exists for this request, as has been made the Wayfarer party's tactic since August 2024 to make Miss Swift and her fan base central to their media strategy against Miss Lively, which they documented in both their communications. I mean, forget the fact that they're also looking for Scooter Braun, and they're mentioning Scooter Braun, by the way, you guys, in their communications. Did you notice that in all the press that they're subpoenaing Scooter Braun. It says throughout litigation, and particularly over the past month, the Wayfarer parties have repeatedly used Miss Swift's name as part of their media strategy, specifically after serving RFPs 108 through 109. And as this court is aware, the Wayfarer party served a subpoena pursuant to Rule 45 on the law firm Venable, which has served as outside counsel for Miss Swift. On June 11th, my birthday, during his 50-minute interview with Megyn Kelly, Mr. Friedman again recognized that he may not need that evidence related to Miss Swift in addition to what he has already. If the Wayfarer parties have already obtained exactly what they are hoping for and much more, and do not need any evidence in addition to what they have obtained, then RFP 108 through 109 are duplicative, cumulative, and unnecessary. Even more, the only allegations in this actions that were ever remotely relevant to Miss Swift were in the Wayfarer party's now dismissed complaint. Miss Swift is not mentioned a single time in Miss Lively's amended complaint. And it goes on. Oh my God, now it's so big. That's what she said again. Lively's counsel now setting up to appear. Nothing was even obtained from Taylor Swift. We'll see. We'll have to see how Wayfarer responds. You know, I used to get like really, really excited when I would see stuff like this, to be honest. But right now I'm feeling so just disheartened between in this case, in the Justin Baldonia and Blake Lively case, and Judge Lyman specifically, that I just don't even care. It's not even that I don't care. I'm not even holding out hope that something good can happen. I truly feel like I'm just assuming it's going to go bad. That's how I feel. Honestly, I'm just assuming it's going to go bad because nothing is going good, right? It's just definitely like we haven't seen anything positive. So I just feel strongly that nothing is, you know what I mean? I don't know. Now, in the meantime, the attorney Leanne Newton, reposted this man. His name is Brett Douglas McDowell, and he's kind of been involved in a side way with this case. And I don't really know the entire deal, but he has filed a motion for recusal of Judge Lyman. And I don't know if you have to be like a very specific type of person to do this, but we've been wondering if people have been doing this at all. Now, he says, I have filed a motion for recusal of Judge Lewis Lyman in Lively versus Wayfarer Studios with the clerk of court and served all parties. This motion addresses concerns about judicial impartiality, including industry entanglements, indigenous erasure, and symbolic retaliation in media. And then he put his full documents here. He says, I'll break this down further in a detailed thread shortly. And here it is. I mean, he has his entire exhibits and the memorandum. I have no idea what can actually be done with that, if it's going to go anywhere, but it's possible that we will get like some movement or something to be said. Now, some people are also saying Judge Lyman's not that big of an idiot. He already got recused from a case because of the Bank of America financial disclosures or whatever that he had invested in a former case that his wife had invested. So there's absolutely no way that he would make this mistake twice. But I'm like, are you telling me that seriously? Because just last night, Cassidy, the same girl who I talked about on her video, had just found just yesterday, she posted, and I posted on my stories, that in addition to every single other thing that we exposed through Cassidy's video earlier this week, Judge Lyman has actual stock in T-Mobile. It's not CBS. It's not Liberty Media. It's not Warner Media or Paramount and all those big, like kind of 3 steps away, Amazon. T-Mobile. He has thousands and thousands of dollars of stock in T-Mobile, which is literally like 1 degree of separation from Mint Mobile. It is Mint Mobile. So that's like me saying I can be a fair judge and I actually have stock in Blake Brown Beauty. That's not like fair. It doesn't connect, right? It doesn't. So there's got to be some sort of recourse here. There has to be. I wouldn't feel fair. People involved in this case are, aware of this. They have to be. They just have to be aware of this. I'm sure they are. Let's put it this way. I'm sure they are. So the right people are working on it. Okay. Where can we go now with this? Because we have other stories. Okay. Let me think where I want to go with this because I want to talk about these other things. I just saw a comment about what's happening in the world right now. Trust me, I know. There was something else I wanted to talk about with this case, but I don't want to get too deep into it. Let's go into talking about Traitors. Yeah? Traitors. So the Traitors cast got revealed, and I'm excited about this one. Traitors is like one of my favorite shows. I love Traitors. I find it so fun. And it's just like a nice little break from all the other shows. I mean, it's obviously so produced and it's obviously so like, kind of planned out and whatever, but it's such a fun show to watch like with your kids. It's not drama in the sense of like cat fights and making out. It's just so fun. So the Traitors season 4 cast includes some of the people: Donna Kelsey, yep, Taylor's future mother-in-law probably, Donna Kelsey, Dorinda Medley again. If I'm wrong, I mean, you guys, Dorinda was in last season, I think, right? Lisa Rinna. Are you kidding me? I don't know Monet Exchange. I am so sorry, guys. I don't know who that is. But I'm assuming Monet Exchange was in RuPaul's Drag Race. Because I feel like there's always a RuPaul's Drag Race person. Candace Dillard Bassett, who... Did Candace have her baby yet? She's pregnant, right? Or did she already have her baby? I don't keep up. And Ron Funches? Is that how you pronounce his last name? He's an actor. Okay. Now, more people are also on it. We also have Michael Rappaport, which, guys, how fun is that for me? I'm so excited about that. Of course, he's going to get so much shit, but I don't care. We also have Carolyn Stansbury from Real Housewives of Dubai. She's an interesting choice. Colton from The Bachelor. I'm actually really surprised about this. I thought for sure he would have gotten, and it's Colton Underwood, because there's a lot of, let me pull up Colton. There's a lot of Coltons from, this is Colton Underwood. Colton Underwood is he's the one that has, isn't he married with a new baby? This guy. This guy here. Do you see it now? He's married with a baby, and I feel like he's like isn't he like a home interior designer type guy? And then we have, of course, we have Travis Kelce's mom, Donna Kelsey. We have Eric Nam, don't know who that is, K-pop singer-songwriter. Ian Terry, don't know who that is, from Big Brother. Johnny Weir, Olympic skater, that's wild. Kristen Kish from Top Chef, that's fun. But I don't really watch Top Chef, but I know who that is. Rob from Survivor. Is that Boston Rob, you guys? Is Rob Sesterstino Boston Rob? Because that's so fun. Lisa Rinna, I've already said that. That's so fun. Mark Ballas from Dancing with the Stars. So is he not on Dancing with the Stars anymore? Maura Higgins from Love Island After Sun. She must host the After Sun, by the way, and I'll talk to you guys about Love Island in just a second. Remind me. Michael Rappaport, I said. Monet Exchange, I already said. Natalie Anderson, don't watch Survivor. Portia Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta, that's fun. She follows me on Instagram. Portia started following me on Instagram when I started talking about Blake and Ryan. She likes the Blake and Ryan crap. Roush from Love Island USA. Who's that? Did I already say that earlier? Who's Roush? Who is Roush? Oh, Rob. Rob from you guys remember Rob from Love Island last season? Rob is the hottie with the um with the overalls. Oh yes, Boston Rob was on last season. So I don't know which Rob is the one this season. I can't remember. I don't know who Rob Cesarstino is, but he's another Rob. Rob Roush from Love Island is the hottie with the overalls that was dating Leah before she ended up going and finding the other guy. Stephen Coletti from One Tree Hill, best known as Steven from Laguna Beach. That's so fun. Tara Lipinski, Olympic figure skater. Tiffany Mitchell from Big Brother, don't know who that is. And Yamil Yam Arocho from Survivor. Okay, so I don't know a lot of them, but I also do know a lot of them too. So we have a lot of really good cast and then some people I don't know, but I'm excited about that cast. That is fun. That's a good one. And then finally, a story I want to cover that I think is so wild, such a left turn today. Scott Wolf and Kelley Wolf, or as we know from Real World, Kelley Limp. Can we talk about this for a second, you guys? Okay. Scott Wolf, best known as Party of Five star, Scott Wolf, married our adorable Kelley Limp from Real World New Orleans, I want to say. Years ago, 21 years ago, they get married. Let me pull up the article. And about a week ago, or at the beginning of the week, out of nowhere, they announced their divorce. And the announcement really came out of nowhere because they had been kind of quietly living in, I want to say, Utah or in the middle of nowhere. And they seem like one of those Hollywood couples that's not really involved with Hollywood. Here is the article. I just Googled it, and this was the first one that came up. It's on the New York Post, and it said, Party of Five star Scott Wolf divorcing. Let me get this ad out of here. Divorcing Scott Wolf divorcing wife of 21 years. I've done everything I can. Well, it sounds like Scott Wolf said that, but actually she said that. It says it was a good run. Scott Wolf and his wife Kelley are divorcing after more than 2 decades of marriage. Do you guys recognize her? I mean, I remember her like she was my childhood, I feel like. He was too, because he played Bailey on Party of Five. They got married in 2004. They have 3 children. And it says, after 21 years of marriage, I have made the most difficult decision of my life and filed for divorce from my wife, Kelley. Oh, he made the statement. Our children have always been and continue to be the loves of our lives and our every priority. So I kindly ask for privacy at this time as we help guide them through this chapter. Then she announced, this is what I had seen. She announced the split in this post, which was 2 days ago. And it said, it is with a heavy heart that Scott and I are moving forward with the dissolution of our marriage. This has been a long, quiet journey for me, rooted in hope, patience, and care for our children. While I will not speak publicly about the details, I feel peace knowing that I've done everything I can to walk this path with integrity and compassion. Scott Wolf is one of the best fathers I've ever known and one of the best partners a woman could have had the privilege of sharing life with. He is kind, thoughtful, funny, and beautiful in spirit. We both look forward to an extraordinary life centered around the most extraordinary children. My priority has always been their well-being and my own healing. That will never change. I'm stepping into a chapter of peace, freedom, and protection with grace. Thank you to the many friends, family, and professionals who have held space for me with love. Please respect our privacy during this time. May we all remember, healing isn't loud, it's sacred. Okay. So, kind message, sweet. I started to do a little bit of a deep dive the other day on her stories and her posts because I was so interested. I was like, what has she been up to? And she seems interesting, like a little bit woo-woo if you want to know the honest truth. So she's an executive coach, an author, a magic maker, a flow, finding love over worry. Her posts seem very, like I said, a little woo-woo-y. now I'm going to show you this post in just a moment. Don't you worry. That's where I'm going to get to. This was the post that she posted 1 day ago. She says, "I'm sobbing. I'm so happy." And it's her kissing her daughter. This was also 1 day ago. It doesn't seem anything really interesting. You guys can watch it.
It did not work. But here we go. First of all, best bag ever. Oops, can't see it. It's pretty darn good.
She's just driving. She's got her daughter with her.
Look at this. So cute. Okay, look, you can't be in the video, but this is us. This is me and my girl heading into the woods. You can put your hand out there. Hi.
Wait,
Here, we can do this.
can
too.
you show them my setup over here?
Yeah, but you can't. be
Now,
in
the
video.
reason why I'm showing you all of this is everything
goose?
seems kind of fine. Nothing seems outrageous,
Oh, you have like a whole little station. And of course, I bought this nerdy thing.
right? She's just showing her life.
Look at, wait, hold up my cute hat, Lou.
Where is
Right there. That one. This one. I got this in Tulum.
Oh, that-
Isn't that pretty? It's made like these women. What's the brand? Wait, turn it around.
Okay.
We're just-
And like even before that, it's just lots of normal pictures. This is 2 weeks ago. Okay, whatever. So she's posting. This is 22 hours ago. I just want to show you kind of what her posts are on her stories. I don't know if you think that they're feeling odd or what's happening, but they're just, this is kind of her energy on Instagram stories. Videos of lions. It says, "It is time. Don't forget the assignment. My third book is titled The Queen's Playbook. Big love, y'all. Head up, back straight, game on, flow, baby, flow." I mean, she just announced her separation. So it makes sense that she's posting like nature videos. Then it's her with her daughter at this resort, just posting pictures of her daughter. Everything seems
Deliver
kinda
Yo era muy
normal.
fan de el antropólogo
Oh, if I were a lady, I'd deck you.
Posting videos and stories. 20 hours ago, I went to get a
Trauma
coffee.
is a dense, polarized.
Just very life coachy, if you know what I mean. She posts a picture of herself by these trees about how science is, talking about absorbing energy and talking to trees. Okay, fine. It's not really my vibe, but whatever. Okay, she's taking a picture of her daughter saying that she's so shy, but mama was also so shy. I used to be really nervous. I mean, nothing is weird to me. It's not my vibe, like I said, but nothing is so weird. Then she talks about scents that she's wearing and all the smells. Okay, it's a little Blake Lively, but whatever.
the money speaking for
17 hours ago, I love this goose, and it's her daughter.
For the
Great.
first time,
Okay, this is 13 hours ago,
Is there something in common in every culture that creates this need for God?
13 hours ago. And then she goes live on Instagram. She goes live on Instagram, and check this out. All right. This morning, she goes live on Instagram, and just listen to what's happening. It's not going to be a lot of visuals until the very end.
Don't. Oh my God. This is not happening.
It's 5 hours
Fine,
ago.
I'll go on my own. Please, I'll go on my own.
you got that arm.
Yeah.
Wow. This is shameful, gentlemen. Look at this. Look at this woman. This is shameful. Be ashamed. Be ashamed of yourselves, gentlemen. I know what I'm doing. I've done this. This is my job. Shame on all of you.
You made some comments to your dad and comments to people that are concerning.
You might want to turn this
Make
off.
sure you're okay.
It's on. Would you like to turn it off? You want me to turn it off?
Turn the word
Okay,
off.
fine. My phone was recording.
Good.
I didn't mean to. It
You
was.
can turn it off if you'd like. me
Please
to.
turn it off, please. I think this is shameful, and Scott Wolf has been abusing me, and now you're abusing me more.
We haven't talked to Scott Wolf.
Well, turn it off. Please hand me my phone to my right. Hand it to my hand right now. Thank you.
The opportunity
Don't!
to be reasonable.
Oh my God. This is not happening.
Whoa. There's an officer arresting her in the video arresting her. And he says in the back, as he's cuffing her, he says, your father has said he's concerned with some things you're saying. I believe that's what I heard. Your officer is saying, your father is concerned with some things you're saying. And she says, Scott Wolf has been abusing me, and now you are. And he goes, I have not talked to Scott Wolf. So now she's publicly saying that the father of her children, her ex-husband, or her husband, her separated husband, is abusing her. She went live on Instagram. This was a live, and then posted it to her feed. And it's still there 5 hours later. And she's with her daughter at a resort. Like, this is happening with her daughter at a resort. Then on Instagram, she posts on her story. So after that, she has access to her phone.
Is there something?
Hold on. She has access to her phone because then she posts this. This is horrible. I've been taken against my will. Please check on my kids. Also, I am happy, happier than I've ever been. I have no idea why or how this is happening in America. I am compliant, calm, and respectful, and hopefully this is all sorted very quickly. In the meantime, be kind to each other. This is one of the darkest things I've ever experienced. What is happening? And she's like, this is a picture of her purse with like all this, it feels like all this cash. I could be like wrong, but it looks like a ton of cash. It looks like she's in a hospital. Or maybe she's in a police station. I can't really tell. What is going on? Oh, she was institutionalized 5150. That's what you guys think in the comments. But she's with her daughter. This is really bad. And the fact that she's leaving that post up on her feed and then not posting it. And then what is Scott Wolf doing now? And this is like, this is them. I mean, obviously the kids are a little bit younger here, but this is really, really scary and concerning and sad. Yeah, this is them like last year posting. Oh, man. He filed for divorce. Us Weekly confirmed that Scott filed for divorce in Utah on Monday, June 9th, which included a proposed parenting plan. But the plan is sealed, so no details are available. I guess weeks before he pulled the plug on their marriage, the actor shared a cryptic post about navigating through darkest and following to the lowest point. So is it possible that he maybe felt like she wasn't allowed to take the kid and she took the kid? Is that possible? This is him 2 weeks ago posting with his daughter. I mean, I don't want to like speak out of turn, but is it possible that maybe she did take the kid? And he was like, she kind of like stole my kid. I don't know. Oh my God, it gave me a yucky feeling and I want that video off her feed right now. And I feel so bad for the daughter. People Magazine, you're saying, reported just a little while ago that she's in a hospital. Okay, here we go. It says Kelley Wolf taken to Utah hospital by police after being detained on Instagram Live. Yeah, she was transported to a Utah hospital after police responded to a call for a woman who needed some help. Deputies responded to the Sundance Resort for a report of a female that needed some help. She made concerning comments to a family member and also made similar comments to our deputies. Okay. Well, I just feel bad for the kids, you guys. I really hope that she's okay, and I hope those kids are okay. Maybe she said something along the lines of that she was going to harm herself. That's the only thing I can think about. If the dad, it sounds to me like he said, I spoke to your father. So I think that's the only thing, that the dad probably had to get involved. Not Scott, but her father had to get involved. And for that reason, I think the dad did the right thing. Because someone said in the comments just now, I wish they did this for the Washington mom of 3. Exactly. You got to do it. You got to go and do anything you can to protect the ones that you love. There you go. 100%. And maybe she was unstable. She just got her divorce filed for against her 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and now all of a sudden she's at a resort pretending like everything's fine. It's very, very scary. Very scary. Okay, you guys, we need to do a collective prayer for Karen Read right now, right? Let's hope that everything is going to be okay. Lots going on in the world right now. It's very scary, and hoping that all is going to be okay. Crossing our fingers. Please continue to follow me. I'm going away tomorrow morning, but I will be on Instagram stories. I will be here next week, and I'll be posting, and we'll still have a show. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay. Bye, you guys.